Hello everyone, I am Abhishek Sir and you are watching this channel and we are studying Mathematics Standard 8. This is almost the last part of this chapter series. We are studying Understanding Quadrilaterals. Now, in the previous video we have finished exercise 3.3. In this video we will study some basic concept of rhombus, rectangle and square, and then we will go for exercise 3.4. So let us see what are the remaining three parallelograms and their specific properties that we have to take care when solving the next exercise. Make sure you have your notebook and pencil, pen, scale with you. Starting with some special parallelograms. So the first is rhombus. Rhombus is a quadrilateral whose all four sides are equal. Okay, all four sides are equal. A quadrilateral having all four sides are equal is called a rhombus. Make a note that diagonals are perpendicular bisectors of each other. Now let me tell you what this statement means. So above I am going to draw the rough figures of this rhombus. This is a rough figure. I am not drawing by pencil or scale, so make sure you are using pencil and scale when you are drawing in notebook. So this is a quadrilateral having four sides. According to our condition, all the four sides must be equal. So to denote that, I am drawing like this. Clear? And diagonals are perpendicular bisectors. So first of all, let us draw diagonals. Okay, this is the diagonal, rough diagonal. They are perpendicular bisectors. That means they intersect at right angles. They always intersect at 90 degrees. So this is all about rhombus. Clear? Moving on to the next one. Next we have rectangle. Rectangle is a parallelogram with equal angles. Rectangle is a parallelogram, so it will satisfy all the properties of parallelogram. Then again we have equal angles. I have written a hint that the angles are of 90 degree. Diagonals are equal. So let us roughly draw a rectangle. First of all, it fulfills the property of parallelogram. That means this pair is parallel and this pair is also parallel. Clear? So now it is a parallelogram but with equal angles. So that is why you see this angle, this and this, all four angles are equal. Clear? And talking about its property that diagonals are equal. So if you are drawing the diagonal, this is diagonal number 1, this is diagonal number 2, they both are equal. Clear? So this is all about rectangle. Now moving on to the next one, that is square. Square is the most easiest part of this special parallelograms. You see, everything will be equal, so equal word will be a hint for square. See, a square is a rectangle, so obviously square will fulfill the properties of rectangle. Now that square has all four sides equal. Clear? So four sides equal, it is a parallelogram. Diagonals are perpendicular bisectors and all the angles are right angle. Clear? So drawing a rough figure of a square, first I have to take care that all the sides are equal. So I will be drawing like this, showing all the equal sides. Then all the angles are right angles. Clear? Then again, what about diagonal? You see, diagonals will be equal as well as they will be bisecting each other at 90 degree. Clear? So this is all about square. So one by one we have discussed about rhombus, I have shown the figure, then rectangle, again I have shown the figure, square, again I have shown the figure, and we discussed the properties as well, and I had represented those in form of rough figures. Clear? Moving further to exercise 3.4. Now starting with the first question of exercise 3.4. The first question is state whether true or false. Now what you have to do is to only read the sentences, recall and compare the properties, and then you have to write the answer only in true or false. Give reason is not in the question, so you don't have to give the reason why it is true or why it is false. So starting with the first question, all rectangles are square. So this statement is false, and in the bracket with the blue marker I have written the reason or hint why they are true or why they are false. So this is not expected, but for your facility I have written the hint. Clear? All rectangles are square. This statement is false because squares have all sides same, but rectangles do not have all sides same. Clear? So it is false. All rhombuses are parallelogram. So this is true by the definition, so I am not going to explain it. Clear? Moving on to the third part, third statement, all square are rhombus and rectangles. So this statement is true because square and rhombus sides are same, and square and rectangles all the angles are also same. So squares are rhombus and rectangles. Moving on to the next part, all square are not parallelogram. This statement is false as per the definition because square is an example of parallelogram only. Clear? The opposite sides are parallel. That is in parallelogram, that is in square. So this statement is false. All kites are rhombuses. This statement is false because in kites, though we have equal pair of sides, but in rhombus all four sides are equal, but in kites it is not. Clear? So this statement is false. All rhombuses are kites. So this is true because in rhombus we have pair of equal sides. In kites also we have pair of equal sides. Clear? Next is all parallelograms are trapeziums. So what is the condition for trapezium? Any one parallel pair of sides. So this is fulfilled by parallelogram because they have two pair of parallel sides. Clear? So this is true. All squares are trapeziums. Now in trapezium again we need only one pair. In square we have two pair of sides that are parallel. So this statement is also true. So if you have focused on the reason and the hint, you will easily understand the statement. Also I have explained it. So if you have not focused, please go through the video again and try to listen it carefully. Moving on to the next question. Moving on to question number 2, that is very easy. We have to identify a quadrilateral in which four sides are of equal length. So we have more than one answer over here. For example, you see the first answer may be rhombus because we have four sides of equal length in rhombus as well. But again we also have one more quadrilateral, that is square, in which we have four sides of equal length. That is why in question number 1 we compared these two. Clear? Now quadrilateral having four right angles. So again we have a rectangle having four right angles as well as square. Okay, so this was very easy. Now moving on to question number 3, explain how a square is a quadrilateral. So what we are doing is we are giving reason how a square can be a quadrilateral. Clear? Now a quadrilateral have four sides. Clear? Same way square also have four sides. So that is why we can write that a square has four sides. That is why, or so, it can be called as quadrilateral. Very easy. A square is always a quadrilateral. Clear? Now moving on to the next one. How a square is a parallelogram. Clear? So square has its opposite sides parallel, so does a parallelogram has. So you can write a square has opposite sides parallel, just like a parallelogram. Clear? So both can be compared easily. Moving on to the next one. How can a square be a rhombus? A rhombus has 4 equal sides. Same way, square also have 4 equal sides. You can see over here 4 sides of equal length, rhombus and square. So you can write a square has 4 equal sides, just as the rhombus. So that is why a square can also be called as rhombus. And lastly, how can a square be like a rectangle? So again, 4 right angles, square and rectangle. So a square has 4 right angles or equal angles, just like a rectangle. So that is why a square can always be called as a rectangle. So here without reason we were writing the answer in question 2, and here with reason we have to explain how a square is a quadrilateral, parallelogram, rhombus or rectangle. Now the next question is, we have to write the names, only we have to write the names of the quadrilaterals whose diagonals bisect each other. Now only bisect each other means they divide each other into 2 equal parts. Clear? So this we have to keep in mind. What do you mean by bisecting each other? They divide each other into 2 equal parts. So we have more than one answer, like it may start with parallelogram, in that also diagonals bisect each other, then it may be a rhombus as well, then it may be a square. Also in rectangle we see that the diagonals bisect each other. Clear? Now the next question is perpendicular bisector. That means diagonals intersect at 90 degree. Okay, they intersect at 90 degree. Clear? So again we have more than one answer. It might be a rhombus. If you have studied the properties of quadrilaterals very properly, you may know the answer very easily, that in rhombus and square diagonals they bisect, and they bisect at 90 degree. Hope it is visible. Now we have to name few quadrilaterals whose bisectors are equal, right? So that again are rhombus and square. So if we have information of the properties very well, then we can write the answers. Also we have to know about what do you mean by only bisect, dividing into 2 equal part, perpendicular bisector, intersecting at 90 degree. Clear? Moving on to the next question. Next question is very interesting. We have to recall our knowledge of convex quadrilateral. The question is, explain why a rectangle is a convex quadrilateral. Now do you remember, students, do you remember what is a convex quadrilateral? Do you remember? Yes, a convex quadrilateral is a quadrilateral in which the diagonals lie inside. Clear? So we have to just give the reason, explain why a rectangle is a convex quadrilateral. Because both the diagonals of a rectangle lies inside the figure. That is why it is a convex quadrilateral. Clear? Now moving on to the last question. This question is a type of proof that, so I guess in 8th standard proof that questions won't be important for exam. Still, for completion of this chapter and exercise, let me explain you this question. Here ABC is a right angle triangle given. So ABC, this is a right angle, where O is the midpoint of the side opposite to right angle. So side opposite to right angle is AC, and AC's midpoint is O. Clear? Now we have to explain why O is equidistant from A as well as B as well as C. Clear? And for hint, they have given the dotted lines. Clear? So what we did, from a right angle triangle we completed a rectangle. Clear? So rectangle is the key. Now for construction part we have to produce BO. Produce BO means to draw a line straight with BO till point D, so that BO equals to OD. So BO equals to OD we have drawn, and we have connected that with A and C as well, making this a rectangle. Clear? Now AD is parallel to BC, AB is parallel to DC. Clear? AD is parallel to BC and AB is parallel to CD. So that makes this a rectangle, and one of the properties of rectangle is that diagonals are equal. Clear? So I have written AC diagonal equals to BD. Now if we multiply half, if we multiply 1 by 2 on both sides, what we will get? We will get half AC into half BD. Now what is half of AC? Half of AC is AO. This is half. So I have written AO. And what is half of BD? It is BO. So I have written BO. Clear? But from the figure, we know that AO equals to OC. Right? From the figure it is clear that AO and OC are same. That means AO equals to BO from this, AO equals to OC from this. That means AO equals to BO equals to OC. Now O is common. That means O is situated same distance from A, B and C as well. That is why we can write that O is equidistant from A, B and C. So this is how we finish exercise 3.4 and finish the chapter as well. So I hope you all have enjoyed this chapter. We have completed this chapter in almost 5 or 6 parts. The PDF of same, including every part, will be available to you very soon. Till then, you have to watch all the videos and make your notes properly. So for the next chapter, stay tuned to this channel. Thank you.